Welcome back to the FanSpeak Network. I'm your host, Spread Astaire, and today we will be doing some DraftKings Best Ball analysis. Here we go. All right, guys, I am excited for today. If you guys were with me last week, we kind of just messed around and I said, hey, I'm still getting to know this. I don't really know what my later round strategies are going to be, and we're just going to have some fun, just doing it on the fly. So since then, I've done, way too many drafts. Like I'm definitely overdoing it. I need to slow down. And all I've done this morning is draft because my body was so physically tired. I had to just chill, and I needed something to keep me focused and off social media. So man, I'm finishing up one right now, and then Tyler's going to jump on it and we'll jump into a new one. Man, I was just trying to build this like late round New England stack because I had Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Polk, Hunter Henry, and I got sniped for Drake May. And that was disappointing. So anyways, I'm finishing up a draft right now, but it's just a little $3 puppy well, it's DK. I don't know what they call the $3 one, but anyways, but I think hopefully I'll talk Tyler into going a little higher stakes one because I am feeling confident. I'm feeling great, and that's the way that we are. So I'm going to finish this one up, and we will start a new one. Boy, how am I going to get my third quarterback here now? So I think on DraftKings, you go 3 QBs all the time. I can't believe I got sniped on freaking Drake May. I did not think anybody was going to want him. But yeah, I have a lot more takes on who I am looking for here in these later rounds. So pretty excited to do that. And interesting to see how this is all playing out here as these ADPs have been flying around. Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, man. I'm pretty excited about this. I've drafted so much in this last week. So compared to the last show, I feel like I'm much more prepared as far as identifying the stacks, who's late round targets when you start early round builds. Done some zero RB, done some hero RB. Lately, I've been messing around with no tight ends till like round 12, round 13. And I love my teams when I'm doing that way. So I'm just having fun with it right now, Tyler. I'm doing a lot of the puppies and the $3, just getting my drafting strategy set up here. But boy, I'm excited today. How you feeling, man? Have you been drafting at all, or are you going to be like I was last week and just kind of dipping your toes in the water?
No, we're just dipping toes in the water right now, Spread. It's still May. So it's like guys aren't even putting pads on yet. Like all the videos are coming out. Like can't get too deep into it just yet.
I can, but that's because if you guys have noticed, Tyler and I have kind of dialed back our NBA content. And Tyler, it's been just kind of
that
fun.
Minnesota series, right, Spread?
Yeah, you did.
Took a couple more games than I thought, and I damn sure didn't think they were winning Game 7 down 20 at halftime. But hell, they fought and they came back.
Bro, I had Denver minus 4.5 in that game in the under, and I thought I was going 2-0.
That was ridiculous.
And I was lifting weights and just watching the live odds for their money line just completely flip. So
are they winning it all?
I have no idea.
I think they are.
I kind of like the way they match up against Boston. I just don't think Boston's going to have the size.
I think this is the matchup that can stop them, maybe, but it would take like a Luka legacy series. But I don't think Boston stand a chance.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. I think I think they match up better against Boston than they do against Dallas.
Could you imagine Jaylen Brown, who can't dribble with his left hand, trying to get away from those guys?
Yeah, I want Minnesota to win, and what do you think they'll be plus 300?
Oh, if they're that, give me them. I'll bet them again because I'm holding up plus. I'm holding a plus 590 on the exact for them to beat Boston in the finals. If they're plus 300, I'd bet them again.
Yeah, I don't think the Pacers got a chance. All right, but let's get back to NFL. Do you have your DraftKings pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you willing to jump in the $20 with me, or do you want to just do a $3 since you're just
getting your $20 one? I'm down.
Okay. So,
do you have the screen pulled up? How are we doing this?
Yeah, I do.
Hold on.
How'd you do that? Oh, hold on. Yeah, okay, there we go. Hold on, I got that. Well, I just left that draft. Whatever. Who cares? I'll just let auto draft for me. That wasn't that good a team, anyways. Okay, so we're gonna go best ball here. See this one right here, Tyler. This is what I was talking in the chat about. This 3 entry max.
That the $100 one?
Yeah, I just want to get in some of those now because you're talking about it being May. Well, that's going to fill up, hopefully by June or whatever, because I think one of them already filled up. So do you see what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about competing against people that are drafted in August with more information.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm kind of targeting some of those. But for today, I don't know. There's some interesting ones.
I was
this $15 bubble screen.
I was looking at some of those single entries, but I don't want to get that entry put in there until.
You know what? We don't want to do those though because they're going to take too long to fill up for the sake of the show.
Yeah.
So are you ready to just enter right now on this $20 one right here?
Let me get back to it. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm clicking back into the lobby now. Best ball.
Just tell me when you're ready. Oh man, I've been so excited about this.
All right, I am ready when you are.
Yeah, I know that they say not to. I'm gonna try and have all my drafts from by August. I'm only gonna draft for fun after August. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Enter. I didn't count down. Oh wait, does it count down on this?
You still got to get through the prompts. There you go.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, enter. All right, let's see if anyone drafts with us. Justin, I see you in the chat. What's up? It's full. Did you get in?
Yeah, I got in.
The 12 of 12? Did it say 12 of 12 on your thing?
Yep.
Oh, man. I don't think Justin was able to get in with us. I was hoping he would. I want to do some of that cardio club. Okay, you're at pick 8. I'm at 11. On cardio club, am I allowed to just lift weights the whole time and look jacked on the stream, or do I have to be on a bike?
I think you got to be on a bike.
All right, Justin, you got to give me the rules for that. Okay, Tyler. I adjusted my rankings a little bit, so I have Tyreek at 2. You'll see some of them. I'm especially on the later round guys.
You got Tyreek above CD?
Yes.
That's why.
It's like their offense is better. I know everyone thinks that CD's going to get force-fed the ball, but
Miami's lost a lot of pieces. I know a lot of them were on defense. They lost a couple of linemen. Tyreek had a very, very good season. Are we sure he's going to have those exact same stats again? I know you just said it CD's going to get pelted with the ball, but you look around their offense, Miami has the chance to use other guys. Dallas, if they're using other guys, it's like Brandon Cooks and Zeke.
Dude, I love Brandon Cooks. So I have not been drafting CD that much, and I've been drafting a lot of Brandon Cooks. What's up, Andrew?
This might be a little bit of a hot take spread, but I would take CD over CMC.
I don't hate that. Okay, here's why. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this.
That's the first healthy year we've seen that, 6 years him be healthy for the full year.
I mean, it was just unreal last year.
Yeah.
What's up, Clyde? So Andrew's saying underdog's better than DK. I know, Andrew. You can. We're not saying that, but guess what? We have these guys named Andrew and Justin that are taking care of underdog for us, so we're helping everyone out with DraftKings. All right, Andrew. We're not saying it's better, but let's talk about the differences real quick before we start. And I think that it'll go into the point that you're making about you want to take CD over CMC. This is a full point PPR. This doesn't value touchdowns as much. So maybe McCaffrey's not as viable here. McCaffrey went number 1 here. And of course, we're seeing my rankings on the screen. Who are you targeting around 8, Tyler? Now, compared to underdog, the running backs drop a little more here. At number 8, are you going to take Brees or Bijan if they're available, or are you going to start with the wide receiver, you think?
Yeah, if Brees is there, I'm going to take him because I think the Jets have a very good season this year. I mean, I think they honestly, I think they could win that division. I mean, I'm not big on Buffalo at all. Miami, I think, takes a
How
step
are you not big on Buffalo?
They have no weapons.
Oh, weapons, schmeppins. They have they're going to be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. But I trust the Jets. I trust the defense. If Rodgers is going to be there,
I just don't think Rodgers is going to stay healthy. I feel like Brees Hall a lot, though.
How good does Rodgers have to be for them to be like that good of a
I mean, he's like my age coming off an Achilles.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but
so did you grab Brees?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a guy that
I feel like Brees Hall there at number 8. I think he's going to get a ton of work.
I think he could lead the league in touchdowns and maybe yards.
All right. Well, let's see. Sorry, you're not going to get Garrett Wilson, so he's an option for me. I could take Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon. I noticed on Underdog, Jahmyr is dropping a little. Here with the PPR, I can see why he's not. What do you think? Garrett Wilson or Jahmyr Gibbs? I have so much Saquon already, but I'll take him too. What do you think of these 3, Tyler?
If Garrett Wilson has a quarterback that can get him the ball, he's a
all right, I just took Garrett Wilson.
Spread, they're favored in like 12 of 16 games too. Like,
wow, Marvin Harrison just went off the board. All right, now I have an interesting decision here. Do I go balanced by taking Saquon or Jonathan Taylor? And I love Saquon so much more than Taylor.
I would take Saquon if I was taking a running back right here.
But I think I'm going to take Devontae. This is DraftKings. This is PPR. I want guys with all those targets, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that, but I would have took Olave over Devontae.
Okay, well, we definitely disagree there. And you'll have the opportunity, Tyler, because you're up next. Are you going to go with another running back and go the hero RB build, or are you going to try and go a little more balanced here? Olave and Ayuk are both – oh, wait. Ayuk's gone. How are you doing this, Tyler?
I think I'm going to take Barkley. We'll go double running backs first to start.
Oh, dude, I like that start. Okay.
I can tell you one running back I'm avoiding like the plague.
Who?
Kyron Williams.
Why?
Because they drafted Blake Corum, who's a replica version of him out of Michigan. And the moment he shows any sign of life, McVay will either split the backfield or give it to him. He does it with every running back.
He didn't do it with that year Todd Gurley. He ran him to the ground.
But there was nobody behind him.
Yeah. I still think, I mean, first of all, there's no real bell cows anymore, right?
No, that's the other thing, too, is Kyron was an absolute bell cow last year.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about players we're avoiding. You know who I have been? I don't think I've drafted Laporta once.
I haven't either, but I also think it's more of just like, I don't think he replicates what he did last year, but I don't think he's going to be bad this year.
No, I think he's going to be great. It's just the idea that when I'm drafting and I'm getting in around 12, I feel like I could still get viable tight ends. And like wide receiver and running back are just, with the running backs, all you're doing is taking backups and just hoping someone gets hurt, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not hoping, but you understand the point, right? Like,
no, I get what you're saying.
So, and it's just that the tight end is so tough to pay off, I believe. And I was even listening to some other stuff, and I'd like to hear some people. I mean, there was guys that I was listening to that were only drafting one tight end, and I'm like, I'll take a 0 for a week. That's not going to kill me. How high is the highest tight end score really ever? And if you have the opportunity to stack all these other excellent positions. Okay, Tyler, you're up in about 5 picks. Who are you targeting? We talked about Kyron. What do you think of Cooper Kupp here? I've seen him go really high and I've seen him fall. So
my target just went. I was going Devontae Smith.
Okay.
So looks like we are going to target maybe some Cooper Kupp, maybe even Mike Evans if he's still there. I mean, all reliable.
Mike Evans is one that I think is better on underdog. I like Godwin more on DraftKings and Evans more on underdog, which makes sense,
Mike
right?
Evans
One
goes
guy's
up
the
there.
mid-range target, the other guy's the red zone target.
Because I need a receiver here.
All right, so you're up, right?
Yep. I am up. Need a receiver. Actually, here we're gonna change some stuff up. Spread. We're gonna reach down a little bit. We're gonna go Zay Flowers.
Huh. Well, I can't do a Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson turn now. Okay, so I have 2 running backs. I'm going to be up in 3 picks. I have 2 wide receivers.
Did I steal your stack?
No, I mean, it's so hard to get that one. When I get it, I'm happy.
That's why I looked at it. I was like, if you're going to do it, you have to do it early. Like one of them has to be reached for. And that was the spot.
Did you see? All right, I'm just going to grab Derrick Henry here. What do you think? So you know what I did on a draft earlier? I grabbed Lamar and Derrick Henry, and I didn't have any wide receivers. Obviously I was trying to get Mark Andrews. All right, I'm up again. What do you think of matching Lamar and Derrick Henry?
I mean, I don't hate that. You're getting a lot of their touchdowns. That's a lot of rushing touchdowns in there.
All right, I'm going to try that build for right now. Of course, you have Zay Flowers, and so, I'm going to try and get some Mark Andrews here. Most likely, I will not get it. Let's look at what people have been drafting so far, Tyler. You're up right now. Talk to me about what you're going to think about doing here.
Definitely need another wide receiver. Do I want to go Tank Dell? I'm going to go T. Higgins.
So are we worried that Tank Dell got shot?
Nah, it'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going Tank Dell.
Bro, if I was him, I'd be listening to like Tupac and 50 Cent like every day. Or some young rapper that you know about that got shot. All right, so one guy went 4 wide receivers. What do you think of this type of start here, Tyler?
I don't hate it. I mean, that's how I built one of the teams earlier when we did it. Just go wide receivers early and then come back on the running backs. There's a lot of good running backs in like that 90s range.
When you do that, you just got to like load up right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know who's going to fly up the board in that range is we talked about it in the chat the other day. Jameson Williams.
He's
because if you need a wide receiver, he's below that huge stack of running backs.
Yeah, but he's also very boomer bust. Like if he's not catching the deep ball, he's not getting any volume.
I like him a lot, even without this. But the reason I think he's going to move up is because if people just decide I want a wide receiver.
Oh no, I see what you're saying.
Because there's like 7 running backs in a row in that little.
I think the one that is very, very wrong on the board and is going to fly up the board or just look like the automatic steal. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter too. It's Wicks for Green Bay.
Yeah, everybody knows about him.
Yeah, that's why receiver 1 in Green Bay, and he's like what 144 on this board.
That's why I like drafting right now, though. I'm getting him so much, and then it's just be like when he runs up the board and he's going 2 rounds later, I already have my exposure taken care of.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like when I'm doing these early ones, I'm targeting guys like that. I think Marshawn Lloyd's another one because what's his name? I want to say McVay, but it's not McVay. LaFleur, right? The Packers coach. He's always run dual running backs.
Yeah. So
as much as I love Jacobs this year and I love him in that system, I think that we'll see. It'll be Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon all over again with Marshawn Lloyd being the Aaron Jones catch out of the backfield guy and Jacobs being the run up the middle guy. So he's another one that I think his ADP is going to go up a lot. All right, Tyler, you're up in about 4 picks. We're both fairly balanced. I'm 1-2-2. You're 0-2-2. Who are you looking at here?
Stroud, if he's there. Pair him with Tank Dell.
That's fair.
If he's not,
let's see. Do these guys have a quarterback? Did you see this guy just take Josh Allen then AR?
Yeah.
That's wild. There goes my Mark Andrews. I never get him, but I'm always hoping he falls.
See if this guy's going to snipe him. No, he took Terry. I'm taking CJ.
Bro, I'm loving Terry right now.
I don't like having 3 guys already on by 14, but I mean, it is what it is.
I barely even look at buys. I probably should do that more. All right, I got two picks coming up. I can pretty much just go best available player here, players that I want. I don't really have to take any position. What do you think of Hollywood?
I don't hate him.
I'm going to take him.
I think he's going to be really good.
I kind of like him more than Xavier Worthy. It feels like he's moving above Xavier Worthy, but in this draft, it appears.
Don't you think Mahomes is more likely to trust a vet to right off the bat? Like
just that he'll pick up the offense quicker.
Yeah.
All right. So for my second one, I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker.
I don't hate that.
Tough to leave Godwin on the board, though. Fuck. I'm taking Godwin.
Yeah, I would take. Yeah.
In PPR, I got to take Godwin. If this was underdog, I think it's a tougher choice.
My worry about Walker is he's just not going to get as much work. Like you've seen it towards the end of the year, they were working Charbonnet in.
Yeah.
And he showed positive life. They're going to use him a lot more this year.
I mean, my only counter to that would be is that there's no real bell cows anymore.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right. So where are you going here, Tyler?
I think I'm going back to the receiver spot spread, and we are going to go.
A lot of good options.
We're going to go with we'll give the rookie a try, Keon Coleman.
And I think that's a fun pick here. Of course, we know that, and who knows how much is overblown on it, but that Josh Allen specifically if these guys are all available, this is the guy I want. One of the reasons was a big body, a guy that can make contested catches. So you think that Coleman is going to get a lot of red zone targets. Now, to be fair, we've talked about the difference between underdog and DK.
Not even just red zone target spread. Just think about he's a
third down target.
He's not the fastest receiver, but he can get up and down the field vertically. Like when Josh Allen just throws the ball 40 yards down the field, like he can go up and just snag it and just come down with it.
Yeah. And then I think he actually helped Dalton Kincaid a little bit more too, because hopefully he'll take some other stuff. While we're talking about the Bills, there's a player that I can't decide on that I'm kind of taking him just for like diversity. Because like I said, I've done so many drafts. I don't want to just keep taking the same people. Although that's an interesting conversation too. And I'd love to talk when I do jump on with Andrew and Justin about it. Total exposure rates, because I know our friend Felix likes just going in on the players you like, and I feel like Andrew and Justin like a more balanced, and they don't want to have too much exposure.
Yeah.
What do you think of Khalil Shakir though?
I mean, I think he's going to be all right. He'll definitely be wide receiver 2 there, but I just can't see him being a guy that's going to get like 12 targets again.
He's not going to get the second amount of targets though, because Kincaid is essentially wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1, depending on how you
James Cook's going to get targets.
Yeah. Do you think James Cook will be good this year?
Yeah, I think he'll be decent.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've never seen a running back that looks so bad. Well, you know what? Maybe Zach Moss too. Zach Moss and James Cook are both 2 players that they didn't look good there. Curtis Samuel could be getting some targets. Justin says that's a great point.
Yeah, that's another one too.
Yeah.
I knew they signed somebody. I was scrolling through the list to try and figure out who it was.
Bro, I might get another chance to make that back New England stack here from Andre drops to me. All right, let's see what these people are taking, Tyler.
Stevenson's going to get a lot of work, too. He's going to get a lot of dump-offs. Like, I think he's going to be solid again this year.
Really, the concern for him is just that offense isn't very good, and the team isn't very good. They got a chance to be really bad.
They do, but if Drake May shows up and plays good, I mean, can only go up.
I mean, the cool thing about him, I didn't get it today, but
who's going to be worse, New England or Denver? I think Denver.
Yeah, you hate Bo Nix, though. All right, let's see. Wow, okay. I'm looking at like potential Ramondre snipers. No. Oh, I love Kyler this year.
Where do I want to go here?
Bro, I've drafted too many teams today. Like I'm like thinking that of like stacks that I already make. Yeah, ball's going to move around a lot for the Bills. Yeah, Josh Allen's going to be good this year. All right, you took Zamir. What do you think of him?
Workload spread, and you guys don't have a quarterback. That's how you guys are playing early 90s football. You guys are running the ball.
You know what? Everyone is assuming that Minshew is going to start. I wouldn't be surprised if O'Connell snipes that starting job.
I think that would be if he gets the starting spot. Like, I want to fade the Raiders early and often.
I don't think he's as bad as you guys think.
I can tell you he's bottom 3.
Who's better, O'Connell or Nix? Your most hated player.
I'd probably take Nix because he at least shows a little athletic.
There goes Ramondre. All right, so we don't have a backstack now there. What should I take instead? I don't have any DeAndre Hopkins exposure. Do you think that's smart or stupid?
I mean, Will Levis is going to let the ball fly, and Hopkins isn't going to be the only focal point with the wide receivers. They have Ridley now. They have T. Boyd. Like, he could get open still. I don't hate it.
I drafted James Conner just because
that's another reliable pick.
Yeah, it's just I don't have another running back yet. I don't want to let it fall too far. All right, so now, I mean, I guess I could still grab Hopkins if I want. I'm gonna take I already have 4 wide receivers though. I think I'm gonna take Zach Moss. What do you think of Zach Moss or Najee?
I like Najee better.
Yeah, I've been drafting Najee over Moss though so much.
I just don't think. I think Chase Brown's going to eat a lot of that workload.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll be right back, Tyler.
Gotcha. I need me a wide receiver right here. So do we want to go? Definitely don't want Christian Watson. I don't like the boomer bust. Do I want the criminal Rashee Rice or do I want some JSN? I will go JSN. I think he could break out here. He had those couple of weeks to start last year where he had to basically be a blocking tight end, so he didn't get to do much. But then after that, he picked it up towards the end of the year. Just all relies on Geno if he can get him the ball. Let's see what else. When's our next pick going to be? 104. We can get Mike Williams there, maybe. Pair him with Brees. See what could happen there. Don't hate doing that. Trey Benson, there's another guy that's going to get some workload when it comes to running the ball.
All right, what was going on? What are we talking about?
I was talking about because I took JSN because I need another wide receiver. So I was just looking down the board. I was like, when's the next
Speaking
pick?
of JSN, he's above Lockett this year. Are you surprised?
No. I think he's going to start to eat more into that workload. I was talking while you walked away. He had a couple of those weeks at the beginning of the year where he was basically a blocker. He wasn't running routes because the tight ends were hurt and the one offensive lineman was hurt. And once he was able to go back out and run routes, he was tearing up teams. So I think he could be there. It just all depends on Geno. Geno can get him the ball.
I've been drafting Geno a lot as my third QB in DraftKings.
I think it's just my brain telling me that this name shouldn't be this late in the draft. But like every time I see Nick Chubb this late in the draft, I'm like, I have to pick him.
Yeah, and then you remember how you had me do that on a first draft show we did together, and I've been doing it a lot. And now I figure I have the exposure. I'm looking at the draft board right now. The best part about being on the turns is these automatic mini stacks. Like this guy Duke got Dak, then Jake Ferguson right after that, and then I see him grabbing Jameson Williams and Jared Goff. It's just so nice to know that you can correlate immediately. But I'm probably gonna wait and because I already drafted Lamar, I'm gonna try and I think I'm just gonna go all in with him. There goes my guy Brock Bowers. Are you excited about him? I'm still surprised that Njoku's going above him. Just with the idea that he was not very good with Deshaun at all last year. Like when Njoku really went off last year, it was when Flacco was in the game.
Yeah, but Deshaun does target his tight ends a lot. That's could be a reason why too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it, spread if he's there. I have to.
Who? Oh, Chubb?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. The only reason I'm not doing it is I already done it like 4 or 5 times. So I figure like I'm cool on the exposure. And it feels like it's a boomer bust pick because he could be terrible and like not even good, right?
He was already running again. And I mean, I think he's going to I think it'll be all
So
right.
I'm not going to do this on this one, but I've done Lamar Jaden stacks.
Yeah. But what like it's Nick Chubb. Would it surprise anyone if he does like the whole AP thing where it's like, oh my god,
No.
your leg bent backwards and then you ran for 1,900 yards?
Yeah, not at all. Okay, so I got 3 quarterbacks. So like I said, I've been going no tight end. I'm not taking Dallas Goedert here. Boy, I almost want to grab Jaden again, but I'm not going to.
Danger, or I thought you drafted Tyreek. I was gonna say you could take Tua.
No.
There's Shakir. Shakir's there.
Do you like Palmer or Shakir more?
Shakir.
I'm gonna grab Palmer. Sorry, it counts down so much. All right, I might grab some Herbert here if I get the little mini stack.
What was his ADP?
Who?
Palmer.
It's going up. It feels like.
I couldn't find him on the list.
Oh, because I moved him up. All right, yeah, I'm gonna do a little Chargers mini stack. I've put way too much on quarterback here. If this is underdog, I wouldn't draft another quarterback. On DraftKings, I might.
Yeah, I think
I still don't have a tight end.
Yeah, me neither. I'm taking Goddard.
That's fine. How do you think he'll do this year?
I mean, he was hurt to start last year. And then he came back, scored a couple touchdowns, got hurt again. I mean, these tight ends, they just come across the middle, take big hits, and then they get hurt. It all comes down to if you can get them in the end zone. So I think I'll do all right. I have Barkley too, so those are going to be touchdowns for Philly.
All right, just looking at some of this board, see what people are doing here. This is actually a smarter draft than some of the ones I've been into. I'm seeing a lot of correlation here. I like a Caleb Odunze mini stack. Sam Laporta, so crazy. So, yeah, this guy went all wide receiver. Now he's making a run on running backs. I think this is a cool strategy that this guy did. 5 receivers and a tight end to start. Then he grabs Burrow and 3 running backs. Although, I don't know. Zach Moss is your number 1 running back. Never mind. That's aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive. See, I just
that's a little too aggressive, Tyler. I guess he's just hoping one of these guys bombs out. First of all, I don't think Edwards will. So this guy, Vidal, he's running up the draft boards, but it makes sense, man. We've seen what Gus Edwards can do. He's just a freaking touchdown vulture.
Yeah, and he's not an open field guy. Like he's not a guy that's just going to chunk yards in the open field. Like
he's not. And I think the other guy could.
He's red zone and in. Like that is his work. That is the. Well, I mean, Zach Moss is a little different, but I feel kind of the same about him and Chase Brown. Like Chase Brown's the younger guy. He's going to get a lot of work. They wanted him to get work last year, and he was hurt all year.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chase Brown just went off the board. Tyler, you're about 5 picks away. You're currently at where are you at? Why is this not working good? You're a 1-4-4-1. What are you thinking about here?
I think I'm going to head back to the wide receiver spot. Might go with some Brandon Cooks here if he is there.
Bro, I so hope Dalton Schultz falls to me.
Yeah, that'd be a
nice pick. You have CJ though.
I have CJ and Dell. Wouldn't be a bad idea to take Schultz.
Yeah, you can snipe him from me. I don't care.
I already have.
What do you think of Hawkinson? There's an idea that he could spike late.
Who was that?
Hawkinson.
I don't want anything to
start the year hurt.
I don't want anything to do with the pass catchers in Minnesota.
What, such a Darnold hater.
Those guys are going to have a comeback to reality from going from Kirk to JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold.
Kirk's as good as you all.
It's just
you guys all think he's so good.
It's not him being quote unquote like talented and being good. It's the fact that he will air the ball out and he plays vertically. He plays downfield. McCarthy's not going to put those balls down the field that Justin Jefferson likes. So it's going to be a little different for those guys.
And I don't even know when you bring them in. All right, what are you taking here?
Yeah, I think I am going to take. I could double my tight ends up. Yeah, we're going to take Schultz. We're going to take Schultz.
All right. Jerk.
You could take Cooks. You'll be all right.
Oh, good point. I'm going to try and grab Blake Corum, too. What do you think of Cole Kmet, dude? I've kind of been passing on him a lot.
I don't hate
because
it.
I like all these
Dude,
players here in this range better.
Their schedule is so easy that if Caleb Williams isn't good, that it's just disaster.
Just you got to think he's like the fourth option here. All right, let's see. What do I need more? I need running back or receiver more. I'm gonna grab Corum here. No, I'll take Cooks. I think he's a better chance that Corum comes back to me.
Hopefully nobody snipes my wide receiver coming up.
So he took Hawkinson. Let's see if he'll take Corum off me. If not, oh, he took Zeke. What do you think, man? I like Corum more than Zeke. What do you think?
I would take Corum over Zeke, and I would take Rico Dowdle over Zeke.
I like Jahan Dotson here too, but let's be balanced. I don't like where Komet's going here. I just feel like, I mean, like I think Musgrave. There's our guy Dontavian Wicks that we talked about. Yeah, I finally drafted him today. You know how we talked about not drafting Ben Sinnott at all?
Yeah, he's about to be gone, spread.
Who?
Wicks.
Oh yeah, well, he's not going to come back to me. Oh,
no,
you're taking him. Good for you. That's a great pick. I mean, like I said, this is why I'm drafting so much right now because I have so much Wicks. That was
kind of the only reason why I took Schultz. I scrolled down and I seen him. I was like, well, I can get him with the next pick.
No, you're doing great. Let's look at your team so far. So you started Hero RB with Brees and Saquon, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell. That's a nice one, but you correlate him with CJ, Keon Coleman, that big target we talked about, Zamir White. I mean, he could be pretty good. He's going to get plenty of opportunities. We talk about no pure bell cows, but
he might be
almost like
he might be the
who's
one.
behind him.
That's why
it's like Madison, Dylan Lobb. I mean, like, come on.
It's just guys you don't want getting carries.
Yeah. JSN, I mean, that's a nice 8th round pick. We talked about Chubb already. Goddard and Schultz. I love the way you did tight end. Look, I have 0 tight ends right now. And then Dontavian, who I think that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to draft so much right now is just for players like him. So good job getting him here. Be interested to see how the rest of this draft turns out. So it looks like I'm the only person who hasn't drafted a tight end, Tyler. Isn't that so funny? A couple weeks ago, my issue was I was overdrafting tight ends, and now I'm just like over it. So we'll see who comes back to me. Let's see what these guys are taking here. Let's see.
I mean, who is going to be your tight end spread? Like Taysom Hill?
I've never drafted him yet. Yeah, we'll see. I would love if I got Musgrave, but I don't think he'll be still there. I don't know. He might.
Nah, Musgrave might still be there.
You know who's another one I'm trying to get a lot of exposure to right now is Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, I
just was kind of talking crap about Cousins, but he's way better than everything that Mooney's ever played with. So
yeah, and
he's gonna be the clear number 2. Yeah. I like Quentin Johnson too, just as kind of like a bounce back, but
I don't.
I think his ADP is about right. You're just kind of taking a flyer. He could be good. He could just be absolutely worthless.
You want to burn a pick on J.K. Dobbins, and it'll last you about 36 hours into the season, if that.
You know, it's so funny. Every once in a while, like I'll auto draft because I'll miss it or I'll be looking at something. And I did get J.K. Dobbins, and it was one of those ones I'm like, well, at least I have like one share. But I'm kind of with you on that.
He's gonna be the one that everyone avoids and like kind of gets stuck with sometimes. And everyone's gonna be drafting all the other Charger running backs. Like him and Gus are gonna kind of just have to let the young guys take over. And Dobbins is gonna have his first year where he's just fully healthy and just houses like 1,000 yards.
I think it's gonna be the other way around. I think he's gonna start out like the first 3 weeks, and he's like Anthony Richardson, where we're gonna be like, why did we miss him? And then he gets hurt, and you're like, oh,
yeah, there he is.
Because I remember I didn't take any Richardson at all last year, and I was feeling dumb. I'm like, oh man, and then he got hurt, and I was like, well, okay, got lucky there.
Big running quarterbacks like that can actually throw. It's like you got to have a little bit of exposure to them, even if you don't like them. Like I wasn't a big fan of him until I seen him play a little bit more, and then I was like,
yeah, I just didn't think he was going to get it as rookie.
And the system, watching him play in that system and seeing it's like, oh, they're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, most people are high on him just the Steichen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who are you targeting here, Tyler? You can kind of go anywhere. Oh, there goes Mooney. We were just talking about him. Ty Chandler is not someone I'm high on. You're up.
Let's see. Kind of want to go another wide receiver. I'm going to go Partial, the rookie that's in San Fran.
I don't hate that.
I still think one of those guys could get moved before the start of the season.
I don't think so, but the way they move the ball around in that offense, and Debo can be injury prone. All right, one more pick. Can I get Musgrave?
I think you can. I mean, Debo is definitely injury prone, but
Dr. Applesauce already has one.
You're up now.
Yep. That's actually a pretty good pick. All right, so I have Musgrave here. Did I grab Godwin? Oh, I already have 2 quarterbacks. I don't need to take Baker. Okay. I definitely don't want Sinat. I'll take Kate Otten. All right. Bro, see, that's what I mean about waiting on my tight ends.
Two wide receivers right in this range spread are either going to be wide receiver 3s, and this ADP is going to look like it should be where it is, or the guy in front of them is going to get traded, and they're going to become wide receiver 2s, and they're going to be steals. And it's Partial in San Fran, and it's Jeb Burton and Cincinnati. Because if Higgins gets moved, Burton instantly becomes wide receiver 2.
I don't think. I think we're getting to in our NBA. I don't think either of those receivers are getting moved.
They're not working on contract deals that they're not even at these OTAs anymore now. So it's like it's something to pay attention to.
But here's the reason: both of them are both championship contenders right now. I think they just let it play out, and then they get a compensatory pick.
Yeah, maybe I could see that. You're gonna hate me, spread. Their buys don't match up. Give me Rodgers. Revenge season.
No, I don't hate you. Go ahead. Take that old man. Back to the tight end strategy, though. It worked out for me, don't you think? Because look, I got to load up my roster with people I like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I think Musgrave and Otten, I'll be able to spike in there here and there with those two. And of course, because I moved Jatavion Sanders like up 60 spots in my rankings. We still got a chance to get him there. I mean, if I end up with Hunter Henry, and am I too upset here for my third? I mean, and that's the thing on DraftKings. Like you go 3 tight ends for sure.
Hunter Henry, the Sanders kid out of Carolina.
Yeah, I think you're fine here.
Washington's guy still there, Sinat.
Yeah. What if Darren Waller ends up being good? Someone can get a steal on him, but I have not been taking that risk.
He retired.
That's why he's down here at 200.
Nah, I wouldn't touch him.
All right, we'll go back to the draft board. Let's see what people are up to. I actually am more interested in how people draft like later in the draft than earlier in the draft.
One running back I'm high on late in this draft too, Bucky Irving.
Everybody loves him.
Rashad White's backup. There's just no way he's getting that workload again.
And I think they even talked about not wanting to work him so much.
Yeah, they just didn't have anything behind him.
Yeah, I think everybody likes him.
He's a great change of pace guy up there too, or down there since he's in Tampa.
Bro, we correlated our teams. I'm Garrett Wilson. You have Aaron Rodgers. That's funny.
What do you think about these Carolina pieces?
I think they're all worth the risk. Carolina cannot be worse than they were last year. Yeah, and if that guy Canales is really as good as people think, I mean, they don't need to win the division. They just need to be respectable.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. Especially when it seems like it's one of those things where everyone's so down on them. They can't be this bad. I mean, maybe they are. I mean, the Browns were that bad a couple of years in a row. So maybe,
there's just no way that they messed up one trade that bad. I know the trade was bad, but there's no way that one
worse
trade
in history.
It's no way that one trade turned them into the Browns. You know what I mean?
It's just the idea that this new guy has no idea what the fuck that he's doing. He's meddling, and it's just like the Browns, where it's just they're so poorly run.
I could see that, yeah. But I just think that there's some talent on that team it's gonna show.
Yeah, I think so too.
All
right, you're up, Tyler. Who are you looking at?
I really don't need anything, but
I know it's pretty fun to be at this point, huh?
Give me Will Levis. I'm gonna go back.
I was gonna ask you about him. So as I get ready to hopefully draft Hunter Henry with his next pick, and then I'm gonna go Rashad Bateman right after that, because I still need to shore up that tight end, right? I mean, it's still, okay. So I'm done with tight ends now. So Jatavian Sanders, all yours. I'm gonna reach a little bit for Rashad, but I need a little bit of correlation there with Lamar. Talk to me about why you took Will Levis and what you think for him this year. I think it's a great high upside pick. If anyone could really break out this year, it would be him. Once again, just like Carolina, my concern is the organization. I think that the ownership isn't very good. I mean, how do you fire Mike Vrabel, right? All right, let me look over this real quick. Yeah, I mean, the only player that I would want over Bateman is Mims, but just because I correlate, that's why I'll go ahead and do that one. Yeah, my concern for Tennessee is that organization just terrible with that.
They said he basically tried to dominate every room he was in, which understandable with the kind of guy Vrabel is. But like,
yeah, can you imagine hanging out with that guy?
If your team was really good and then they became really bad, and this dude's still trying to storm around the room and bark all these orders, I feel like that could run its course. You know what I mean? Like where you just get tired of it and you're like, all right, we're gonna let this guy.
He didn't even get hired, did he?
No. I'm gonna take some. Don't want some Marvin Mims. Actually, no. We're gonna go.
I love Mims because Sean Payton really likes him. He traded up to get him last year.
We need a running back. We're going Roschon Johnson. Get a little bit of Chicago's backfield in there.
Yeah, that's so weird. All right. So, how are you feeling about your team so far, Tyler?
I like it.
You're at 3.562. I'm at 2.473.
I like it a lot.
This guy really. Let's see. So this guy's only got one QB, and it is Burrow. This guy's got the most aggressive draft strategy. He's the one who went all receivers, and then he took all his running backs late. Wonder if he's going to finally take another quarterback here. Yeah, Bryce Young there. Does he have correlation with him? Or Jonathan Brooks? Whatever. He's probably going to try and grab Sanders. I'll bet you grab Sanders on the way back.
It's not a bad idea.
I think Jonnu Smith, his ADP is going to go up too, just because he's in such a good offense. I've been trying to grab him, but I don't know.
Where's he at?
I always get sniped on him. Jonnu Smith just got drafted by the same guy who took Ben Sinnott.
No, which team is he on? I didn't get to see.
He's on Miami. That's why. I think it's, I just like grabbing guys in like the awesome offenses,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right, let's see where he's going. Noah Fant here. I actually like him with Geno. I like that late. I like that late correlation a lot. It just seems like all upside.
The nice part about one nice thing about taking Levis is they still have Tyler Boyd listed as a free agent, so he's sitting at 209.
Yeah,
you can just grab one of his weapons right there.
What do you think of Burton taking that Tyler Boyd role in Cincinnati? That's why I'm kind of high on him.
Oh, that's what I mean. He's gonna have the Boyd role automatic, like to start.
Yeah,
but
if
up. T. Higgins is traded, I'm taking T. Boyd. I'm just gonna go down and get him now.
Okay.
But if for some reason T. Higgins is traded before training camp or before the start of the season, he's wide receiver 2 now. He's going to get a lot more targets.
Yeah. I might take a little Drake May here to correlate with Hunter Henry.
They said Justin Jefferson hasn't talked to the Vikings since last year also. And he was spotted in New York.
What, do you think he's trying to get traded?
I think he is. He was very adamant about keeping Kirk as his quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. What do I do here, Tyler? I'm at 3.473. I need to take a running back. Oh, Evan Hall.
Yeah, not a bad one.
I would have liked to have some DJ Shark here. He says a free agent, but he's with the Chargers, and I have Herbert. But
that would have been a nice pick.
Yeah, and maybe Hall would have dropped, but whatever. I don't know. I already pretty much went all in on receiver. I think I'm much at this point. I think the running back is way more likely to spike into the lineup than my receivers.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Chark.
Grab him. Hopefully, we'll be winning together when Justin Herbert is the best quarterback that we see.
Well, the thing is, he's got to throw the ball to somebody, and I think Quentin Johnson sucks.
That's why I like Palmer so much.
But he's another one. When he's on the field, he's really good, but he's just made of glass. Chark's not the best guy either when it comes to health, but if he's out there, someone's got to catch the ball from my guy.
Yeah, that's a great point. I've been doing these little Giants back stacks.
Draft some AJ Dillon at 229.
Why?
No, I was just playing.
I was gonna say, please don't.
No, I would rather just waste my.
He's so good.
I would rather like email DraftKings and be like, "Can I forfeit that pick? Like, I don't even want it on my team."
This wasn't my best team. Not my worst either. I don't know. So if I were to like critique it right now, I just feel like probably because we're talking so much, I didn't like firmly have a plan, but at the same time, like I don't necessarily care if I don't overdo the correlation so much. So I was interested in listening to an interesting one today talking about that getting two receivers, with the high picks may not be the way to go. Like to do a T. Higgins and a Jamar Chase. And we talked about it earlier with Justin and Andrew. Remember when I dropped that one in the chat? And that was a $3 one. I was just screwing around because I know there are a lot of like NFC East fans in there.
Yeah.
But I grabbed that Eagles stack where I took Eagles with the first 4 picks. But I don't really think that's viable.
You better pray to God that they put up like Miami numbers from last year.
Yeah, it was just kind of stupid, but I was just kind of doing it to be silly to mess.
Like how many guys rode teams to the playoffs last year in best ball where it was like you had Tyreek, Tua, and the
Waddle,
or you just had the running backs.
Mm-hmm. Do you think A-Chain's going to stay healthy?
I don't think
just with his build. I just wonder.
I don't think he's going to be like banged up, but I also don't think he's going to do what he did last year.
Yeah.
Taking some Rondell Moore, just a random flyer. Actually, Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
I'm gonna say I have 2 picks that I can pretty much take whoever I want. Was seeing Justin Fields on the board. I actually like him more than Russ at this point, and the idea is that even if Russ starts, I don't think he's going to get my lineup that often. But I think Fields has better fantasy upside. So even if I don't think he's going to win the job, I'd rather draft Fields here.
No, I agree.
Yeah. This is pretty rough here at this point. I'll grab this Chargers receiver. I'm going to grab this Chargers receiver and this Miami receiver if they're still here.
This dude's listed as a running back?
Who?
The rugby player the Chiefs brought over that clocked like a 28-mile-an-hour speed or something on the field. It basically would have had like the fastest speed.
Who is it?
His name's it's L. Rees Zamit. Zamet. Zamit Zamet. I don't know. It's from like Australia.
Do you remember when the Niners got that rugby player they're all excited about, and then he did like one good thing and that was it?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this guy's gonna be the same way.
I don't know how much it translates. All right, your last pick, and then we're gonna go over these teams.
I'm taking him with my last pick.
Might as well. Especially on DraftKings with these extra 2 rounds.
I mean, you're telling me this dude clocked a faster speed than anybody in the NFL last year, and if anybody can figure out how to use him, it's Andy Reid. And if they figure it out, it's just another weapon for this team. So,
and with these last picks, I like scrolling down and just grabbing random people with the idea that if they end up being good, like nobody else is going to have him. So, all right, hey, talk about your team real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let's see. I think I ended up going very heavy on wide receiver. We have 9 receivers, 6 running backs, 3 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. Ended up with, let me pull up the draft board so I can read this in order. Ended up with the Brees Hall, Saquon to start in the first 2 rounds. Then 2 wide receivers, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell. Then we correlate the quarterback, CJ Stroud. Then we head back with a rookie wide receiver in Keon Coleman. Come back with what could possibly be the only bell cow running back left in the NFL in Zamir White. And we get some JSN, Nick Chubb, go some double tight ends with Goddard and Schultz. Get Dante Wicks late, Ricky Pershall, Aaron Rodgers, Will Levis, Roshan Johnson, T-Boy, DJ Chark, MVS, and then Reese Zamit, the rugby player for the Chiefs. And that's how we finished off the draft.
All right. Talk about my team, Tyler, and then I'll talk about your team.
Let's see what spread did. Where are you at? So you ended up going 9 receivers, 5 running backs, 3 and 3. So we pretty much have the same build. You just have one more tight end than me. It's just
which I needed to do because I waited till round whatever to start.
Yeah, you went a little different than me. You went 2 wide receivers to start Wilson Adams. I don't hate that. Then you went.
Yeah, we definitely had the 0 RB and the hero RB build.
Yeah, you went Henry Jackson. You went Henry Jackson, where I went Flowers Dell. Then you got some Marquise Brown, which I love. Godwin, which is a good one. James Conner still going to get a lot of work. Najee, Josh Palmer, Justin Herbert, Cooks, Corum, Musgrave, Otten, Henry. The triple tight ends right in a row. Bateman, May, Hall, Rice, Washington. Yeah, that's a solid team. A couple guys at the bottom that could be boom or bust, and if they show up, they could definitely play well. Like Josh Taylor gets hurt, Hall could be the starter for all year. You never know.
I liked it, and I think this draft kind of just illustrates why I've been shying away from the high-end tight ends. And it's just my idea, like, let's look around where Laporta is, right? Like, I think there's a big chance that, like, Debo, DJ, Devontae, Pittman, right, all are better than Laporta, right? And you're just leaving so many points on the table, so... I mean, if Laporta averages 10 per game and I get 7 per game out of this little deal here, I feel like I did it. But the opportunity cost allowed me to get guys like Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry. So that's kind of why I've been staying away from the early tight ends right now. I do like your hero RB build right now with the idea that the running back value is going to be more present in August. Once we see who's getting these camp reps, because there'll probably be some names that we're not even drafting right now that are going to end up being the RB2s that you'll be able to get value on later. So it's good to get these exposures in here now. Of course, I went opposite of you, and that was to illustrate that in DraftKings, we are on the PPR system. So I want high target guys. And that's why I went with Garrett and Devontae to start. I do like that for your hero RB, though, you did go with guys that are going to get a lot of catches. I think a Brees.
They're going to get a lot of catches. And the another big thing is like Barkley behind Hurts. You probably think that they don't want to keep running Hurts up into the end zone.
It might not even work as well, even if they want to.
It might not work with Jason Kelsey, and you just don't want him getting hurt. So you bring in Barkley. He's going to take a lot of these carries. Rodgers coming off the Achilles injury. He's probably going to lean on the run game more, having a stud running back behind him in Brees Hall. I could see them running a lot of touchdowns, and especially if Rodgers is moving the ball through the air and he's making teams respect that pass game, it's just going to make Brees Hall better. Zamir White is probably the only bell cow left in the NFL. We talked about that too. So those three guys right there, and like Nick Chubb's the other one, but Nick Chubb with Ford behind him could be a little different coming off the injury. So, but if all 4 of those guys show up like how they've looked, I mean, they could easily just all 4 fill lineups. I could have 3 spots filled by running backs every week.
So you only went with 2 tight ends, huh?
Yep, 2 tight ends.
I really like Dalton Schultz so much, and you got the correlation there with CJ. And we didn't talk about it earlier, but we know we should be targeting dome teams for the late season advantages of not being outdoors, which is another reason why I like Dalton Schultz. Like on paper, him and Dallas Goedert are probably the same level of players. And I know that Dallas does have the favorable end of season. I mean, Dallas Goedert has the favorable end of season matchup against the Cowboys where they're inside. The counter to that is it's one of the best defenses in the NFL, right? And I know those teams have shot out before in the past, but I don't know. For people, everyone loving that Dallas-Philadelphia correlation at the end, it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but that could also be a divisional slogfest with 2 great defenses there. So I really like the way that you did tight end. We talked about Dontavian Wicks. Keep drafting him right now. If you're drafting in May, which we are, you're trying to get guys that we know are going to fly up the board. And I think Dontavian Wicks is one of them here. Will Levis, I think, is a great gamble. We disagree on A-Rod, but we've already talked about that a lot. And I mean, at 14th round, let's say I'm right, and let's say he gets hurt or doesn't play like shit. Did you really kill your team? I don't think so. Not with CJ Stroud back there. So I think it was a great gamble. Tyler Boyd, we talked about matching with Levis. I would have liked to have Chark there. But hey, I got this Brendan Rice kid, so maybe that'll work out well for me. And then MBS is on the Bills, right?
Yeah, he's on the Bills. That's another.
I mean, with that 19th round, you're just hoping he spikes into your lineup once or twice.
Catch me a 70-yard touchdown one week.
Yeah. And then this is just some good knowledge here. And we talked about with this 20th pick, trying to get people that other people aren't going to have exposure to. And I don't even know his name, and I've never seen anyone draft him before. So I think you did a good job there. Tyler, what do you think about Bo Nix being the very last pick in this draft?
That's where he belongs, at the back end. Not at pick 12, Sean Payton.
Yeah. I see some people taking Dylan Lobb here, and I understand, especially more on DraftKings rather than Underdog, because I think he's going to be their pass catcher. Like who did we have? Amir Abdullah last year.
Yeah. Here's the tweet spread. It says in 2023, DK Metcalf's a maximum speed of 22.23 miles per hour against the Dallas Cowboys was the fastest last year. Mm-hmm. This Reese Zamit guy that they picked up from rugby ran 24.17 miles per hour in the Rugby World Cup. I know he's going to have pads on, but is that going to knock off a mile and a half per hour?
Nah, speed is speed.
Yeah, so if they can figure out how to get him the ball in space, he's going to be a problem.
And it's your last pick, right? Like Bo Nix. Well, I guess Miles Sanders. That's pretty crazy that late.
I mean, he's
right?
he's getting QB1.
Mingo, Slayton. How many of these guys are going to be in the lineup? Let's talk about. I didn't realize we had someone in the chat drafting with us. The League 2014 drafted Tyler. I think we owe it to him to go over his team. How about I'll start? I'll read off the players, tell them what I think, and then you can go ahead and do the same. So we started with McCaffrey. That's a no-brainer. You talked about gambling with CD, but every time I've got the one pick, Tyler, I've taken McCaffrey. Then he went Laporta, and we've already talked about tight end, but at the same time, I could be wrong. You're getting a great dome deal here. And if he outperforms like he did last year, you're already off to a good start. The other advantage you had by taking Laporta is where I was scrambling for tight ends late. You didn't even have to think about the position for the whole rest of the time. Then I really like what he did here, right? Because he got 2 veterans, and then he took the upside here, right? And I talked about how in some drafts I'd seen Hollywood go ahead of Xavier Worthy, and I think that Hollywood is more of the safer play. Worthy's the boomer bust, right? So he went with that. But to protect himself, he has 2 veterans where I feel like with Debo and Keenan Allen, we know they're going to get a lot of targets, and there should be a safe floor there. So I don't mind him going boom there. David Montgomery, I absolutely love here. He's another one that we talked about drafting in May. He's going to continue to go up the draft boards because of how he outperformed his ADP last year. Now you paired him with McCaffrey. Wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, David Montgomery. I'm sorry. I don't know what the green screwed me up. Jordan Addison, Tyler. What do you think of that pick?
I don't hate it, but again, me personally, I'm avoiding all Minnesota pass catchers.
Okay. Yes and no. For example, right? He's gonna be way better than Christian Watson, even though Jordan Love's way better than Darnold or whatever, right?
Would it surprise you if like Justin Jefferson has like Hopkins' year from last year for Tennessee?
Yes. I think he's the type of guy, like even Devontae Adams put up huge numbers with AOC and the crap that we had last year. Any of these NFL quarterbacks can throw to guys that are wide open. That would surprise me. And that's where I think maybe I really like the Addison pick. You do not. I like the Jameson Williams, Jared Goff deal. What did you think of that little mini stack there, Tyler?
Yeah, I like that setup there.
Yeah.
I like that setup there. I like the Chase Brown pick right after that too.
Yeah, and then he set himself up because he got Geno later, so he has Tyler Lockett. And what was the other one he got? Noah Fant and Geno. I think that's a great back stack to get that little stack, and you started at that. You didn't even start till the 10th round. Fryermuth, you're out in Pittsburgh. What do you think of his outlook this year?
I mean, he's going to be basically the third target, but my biggest worry is he just gets hurt a lot. He gets a lot of concussions, and they're going to be running the hell out of the ball in Pittsburgh.
I tell you what, I like him more than Cole Kmet. What do you think?
I'd take Cole Kmet.
Okay, why is that?
I trust Caleb Williams more to throw the ball into the end zone. They have a much more favorable schedule, and their offense is going to be set up more to air it out and throw the ball, to where ours is going to be ground and pound, use Najee, use Warren, play action passes to Pickens and these guys, and trying to take deep shots to where, and like the other thing, the Bears schedule is as cupcake as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you guys have the hardest schedule, right?
We have.
You sent me the tweet, right? And I remember saying only Tomlin can overcome that.
Yeah, like it's like weeks 1 through 10. I'll get it pulled up right now. Weeks 1 through 10, you could look at the Steelers and be like, wow, maybe everything they did in the offseason like ended up being like very good. They're 8-2. Like maybe this panned out and this Omar Khan's like a genius. Russell Wilson's looking great. But then they finish the season. They play the Commanders week 10. And then from there on out spread, they got the Ravens. Then they go to Cleveland to play the Browns. Then they go to Cincinnati. Then they come home to play the Browns. Then they go to Philadelphia. Then they go to the Ravens. Then the Chiefs come to Pittsburgh. And then they finish the season with the Bengals. That's no fun.
Well, that Bengals game won't be in for best ball, but okay, that's a good point. I can understand why you like Kmet. Maybe I need to move him up more because I've been taking Fryermuth over Kmet a lot. Glad we're talking about this. We talked about J.K. Dobbins earlier, but in the round 13,
the one positive to take from that spread, they're probably behind in all those games towards the end of the year.
No, I think they're better than you think. What would be your major critique of the league's draft? I would just say because he took Laporta so early, he's really relying on some of these running backs to come through. You're going to need a big step up from either David Montgomery or Chase Brown. But if he gets it, he's going to be set, and he's going to be someone I'm going to be worried about in this pod. What are your final thoughts on his?
I mean, I see what you're saying, but he's basically leaning on, I'm going to get every touchdown out of Detroit's offense that Amon-Ra St. Brown's not scoring.
Yeah.
So
I think that's great.
I get what his strategy was, but I agree. I probably wouldn't have took Laporta in the second, but he covered himself with the way he built that. Detroit should.
But if you want Laporta, that's why you have to take him. That's why I have 0% of him right now.
And he built around him the right way. He got Goff, he got Jameson Williams, and he got Montgomery.
Yeah, even throwing some Khalif Raymond in round 19.
Yeah, so as long
seems
as
crazy to you underdog guys, but we have 2 extra rounds here,
Gibbs
guys.
or Amon-Ra in the end zone, which I know they're going to score a lot of touchdowns, but touchdowns are also high variance. They can get down there on a bunch of yards and catches, and then a different guy gets in the end zone. So,
and the other thing is, this is DraftKings where the PPRs and the targets is actually more important than getting the end zone, and we know that Laporta is going to get that, especially in those nice matchups with the weaker linebacking cores of Chicago and Green Bay. I'd say the weakness of the Green Bay defense wasn't their linebacker. I think they have excellent secondary, a great defensive line, so I could see why you like it. He says, I think Goff is going too low on DK. I agree, man. I think he's going too low on underdog as well. I don't understand how the guy's so good and you're getting him so late. What round you get him in? Round 9. Jordan Love and Caleb both went ahead of him. That's so crazy. You got guys that are going to be playing in the middle of December going ahead of Jared Goff. Right? They're going to be playing out and they're going to be throwing snowballs at each other. So, all right, Tyler, final thoughts on just best ball in general before we shut this down and head down to next week.
Yeah, it was a fun draft. I like the team I was able to put together. I don't know if it's a $1.5 million winner, but we shall see in a few months. And we'll be back, Monday doing this again.
Are we going to do Mondays or Tuesdays from now
on? Whichever works better for you.
Most likely we'll do Tuesdays, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
If it changes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Guys, give us the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Head on over to fanspeak.com, and you're going to see all the great content that we are producing. Meg and Steve are pumping out articles. They're going over the schedule. They're going over who's rising. They're going over who's falling. Plenty of great best ball information for you at fanspeak.com.